These big guys. Hello, Doc. Come on in. All right, let's go. Scoots, bring them over. Oh no, the turkey spilled it already. Of course they would. Thank turkeys. What's gonna spill some there, but you guys see that you guys already did it. I cuddle. What's up, big dog? There. We got food. You guys hungry? You want some food or what? Huh? Good guy. Here you go. Stop, come back. Come on. Look. Tree. Okay. Here. See what we got. Homer, there. Come on now. Good. What I do it. Bring later. Oh, man. You guys broke my egg. Oh. Oh man, not too bad of a haul. Looks like we got 12, 14 duck eggs and 12, 14 chicken eggs. So 28 total. 6, 12, yeah, 30, almost 30. Yeah, not bad. It'll do. Put two on wheel then. I'll do the squeeze. You too. You're all. You're all. There you go. That's your food, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, how's it going? It's going busy. It's going incredibly busy. I don't know. You start to sit out here with these animals, and you notice they got different ailments and foot issues, and one duck's sitting down. So you know there's something wrong because most of the time ducks don't sit down for fun. I don't think my ducks are used to. I don't think these new ducks I got are used to walking around as much as because they're free ranging now. So I think some of their feet are starting to get calloused or they're cut up. I don't know if they were cut up from the previous owners or what, but I just know she was sitting down. When you see one of these animals sitting, not a good thing. So I ended up catching the duck with a fishing net because they're quick. Brought her to the house, checked out her feet. She's got 3 black spots on her feet. 3 black spots most of the time don't turn into bumblefoot, but you got to be as proactive as possible. So now I've got a duck in the garage. I already know I got a chicken with bumblefoot, but I just bandaged her up and put her back in the coop because she's not, swimming in water. So now I got a duck in the garage because I need that to heal and not get infected because we're going in the water. So when you got animals, if it's not one thing, it's another, as is life. So I just did that for the last 40 minutes because that duck had 2 bad feet and the chicken had 2 bad feet with black spots on it. So you try to address those. But that chicken we've been treating for like the past week, so wasn't too big of a deal. But the duck was new. I noticed in the last 48 hours that duck was sitting, and I figured something was up. And I saw it get up and walk. And I see it get up and walk, you can see the backside of its leg, the underside of its pad. And I saw a black spot on the underside of its pad, which is not that it is bumblefoot, but a dark spot on its pad. It could either have been, poop that it was walking through the yard or mud. So, well, of course, I caught it and checked it without a net and was like, oh, here we go. That's how tonight's gonna go. That's farm life for you. What are you gonna do? Right? Always something. But we're gonna see if we can't wrap up feeding time early tonight. Move on with life. I got a shower. It's Sunday. Gotta get ready for work. I don't know if anybody else got work. Maybe you got tomorrow off. God bless. Good for you. Uh, But that's how it goes. Sometimes I start this live stream and have full intentions of just sitting here and relaxing, and then you notice something, and then boom, your whole schedule gets changed. We are. So now I'll probably have a duck in the garage for I don't know, maybe the next 3 or 4 days. Pretty much I cut out and broke out the black spot, the infected spot. I cut it out. Only fans, that's only chicken fans. That's probably one of the one negatives, at least in our area. There's no vets. So I am the vet. So there's a lot of mistakes I've had to make on my own being a doctor. I ended out went out and got like one of those dissecting kits that you kind of did in high school if you dissected a pig or a frog or whatever you did. So I've got a mini lab dissecting kit here with like a scalpel, tweezers, all kinds of stuff. So if you got chickens, I would invest in that. That was one thing I didn't have, and then I got it within the last couple of years. And I'll tell you what, it's came pretty in handy with all the different sutures and scalpel and stuff. So like, have I made mistakes? Sure, I try to make the least amount of mistakes as possible. But when there's no vet around and it's 9 o'clock at night like it is right now, here we are. I think that's probably one of the most difficult things is there's really no pain medicine because nobody sees avian or even sees chickens or ducks or turkeys in our area. So I've had to learn to become my own vet. So I think I do a lot more preventative measures than a lot of other people do because they probably have more access to medical care for their animals. Um, I'm probably more conscious of that. But can only do so much. Sometimes, nature takes over, and the animals are like, little toddlers, so they always find a way for mischief. Uh, yep. We're always working, I suppose. That's good. Hopefully your evening went well. Happy Sunday. So bumblefoot is essentially staph infection, no different than humans. But most of the time, humans' bodies can fight off the staph infection because the animals are constantly walking around. The staph infection so and so what ends up happening is it's called bumblefoot because then the staph infection turns um the staph what is the staph bacteria then turns into a black spot. That's the like pre-staph infection as it's starting to take hold. Sometimes the animals' bodies, the chickens, the ducks, the geese, they all get it or they can get it. What ends up happening is then you see a black spot on their foot, and sometimes the chicken or the animal's body fights it off and it's a non-issue. Um, but sometimes their bodies cannot through and the infection starts to take hold. So then it turns into like a brown blackish spot. That's when the staph infection is in its infancy, I guess you could call it. And then what ends up happening is as the staph infection starts to grow and spread on the pad of the foot of the animal, like a kernel, they say, I guess is a good way to describe it, like this kernel pustule, like pus thing starts to form. So then by at that point, it's a little bit more serious because this kernel's been growing. Sometimes it's the size of like a pea or a tooth, depending on how big the animal is. And so it's just sitting in there inside the pad of the animal's foot, which I can only assume that it's like putting a rock in your shoe and walking around with it all day. So I know even when I get rocks in my shoes, that's uncomfortable. But these are incredibly resilient and tough animals. So, what you then try to do is you then try to get the infection out. You try to get the whole kernel and pop it out. It's like a yellow, whitish, milky yellow kind of color, and that's the infection itself that's set inside the pad of the foot somewhere or a toe, whatever. It can happen anywhere. So what you try to do is then you try to Epsom salt. The over the counter methods that I've used are you try to Epsom salt the foot, you try to loosen up that infected area, and then you kind of use tweezers or your fingers because it is staph infection. I have several. I have a couple boxes of latex gloves because it is staph infection. It can be. Um, it is not good for humans either. And so then what I'll end up doing is I put on gloves. I'll use alcohol, before I start to clean the area. I definitely try to be as sanitary as possible. And then you kind of just use your fingers and some of your medical tools that I have, and then you kind of work this scab a little bit. You can use Prid as well to try and bring this infection to the top, and then you kind of just work it, work it, work it, and then the goal is to kind of peel back this whole scab and have the scab pull out the kernel, which is the infection, and you try to pull it all out, and then it leaves, a pretty decent sized hole, depending on how big the infection is, inside the pad of the foot or toe of the yard animal. And then pretty much if you get it all out and everything goes well, it just all heals up and you move on with life. So ta-da. Couple of my roosters have had it. I've been able to catch it early when it was that brown or black spot. And then I've been able to treat it. And then I put, what do I use? I've used Prid to try and loosen it up. I've done Epsom salt baths. What's the other thing I've done? I went and bought regular Neosporin with none of the chemical treatments for, it's Neosporin plus whatever else is in there. You get the regular, unmedicated. There we go. Like this is what I just put on the chicken and the duck. I put on unmedicated Neosporin to help with the healing, you know. And then now that duck will probably sit in there until next week. I'll probably change its bandages maybe every 48 hours because it's nothing like really critical. And then once a good scab develops over its foot and it looks like it's good, I'll set it free. So, but it just takes, it's like anything, it takes time. So my garage is my setup. So, you know, I would honestly love that. I wish I got my barn behind me all ready to go because she'd be in the barn or somewhere else, not necessarily sitting in the garage. And not that I don't mind having the animals in the garage. It's just not as, I'd rather have them be with the flock in a way. A lot of people, some people that do have doctors around, um, and they have vets that will see, backyard animals or barnyard animals. You can take it to a vet, having them examine it. Some people will scalpel it out, then they'll put on their stuff, pack it with gauze. I don't know. I've watched videos on it, so I just really. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, Lou. And hey, so yeah, so you do a lot of different things. What is one of probably the more interesting things I've done lately is the turkey's beaks. If you put it with the other ducks at night, would they mess with it or would they spread it to others? So it doesn't necessarily spread like that. It's really contained to the individual animal. The thing is that, um, in order for this to heal, especially with the ducks, in order for this to really heal, I can't have them. So I have a pond and then my ducks free range. So it's not like they're contained where I can limit their mobility or their movement. So for me, it turns into be a little bit more of a problem because then I have to put the duck in the garage. And right now the dog is in one of the dog cages because these new ducks I got are pretty athletic. They jumped right out of my typical pen. Um, there's a chance. So I use like athletic wrap for like when you tape your ankles. You put on that pre I put on pre-wrap. Well, first I put a gauze on the spot. I put non-medicated Neosporin on whatever area it is to help with healing. And then at that point, I then put on some kind of a like a pad or a gauze. And then I use pre-wrap to set the gauze so that it has something, and then I'll take like either horse wrap and medical some kind of like fabric medical tape, and then I kind of tape it up like a club. I could probably show you actually. because I just got done doing the chicken, so it'll give you an idea of what I do. I don't really videotape it. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, probably if I could remember, I'd videotape it. I think she should still be right here on the corner. Hi, honey. Hi, hi, hi. Show me your feet. Show me your feet. Come on. There you go. So here's kind of how I tape her feet. So my wife helps me. My wife does a great job at this. So this is kind of how I tape her feet up to there. I've got a gauze in there. And then we kind of just tape it through our different toes so that she's got some mobility. This is what I do. This is my strategy. So this is what I do for bumblefoot, nicks or cuts. And then I kind of just tape it through there like a human would tape their ankle. And then I've got some pre-wrap and some horse tape on there that they use to tape horses' ankles. So I've just got a bunch of different layers on there to keep it as clean and as sanitary as possible. But I do think that the ducks or other animals, they could mess with it. Um, I've noticed because my animals range and they're all over the place, they have sometimes that tape just wears off or they get all dusty and stuff. But that's my level of medical care. Lou, how you doing, Lou? Hope you're having a good night, Lou. But yeah, it's a really good question. It can't get spread to the other animals. There's always a chance they bite the other animal's foot and mess with the tape. Most of the time, I have, because I sit out here enough and watch, that doesn't really happen. It just kind of falls off naturally through the animal's day. But yeah, I usually have a lot of that stuff. Like I'm probably running out of gauze because I've changed that the chickens. I've changed the chickens dressings, I think 3 times now. Depending on like if it rains out, I'll change it more. Most of the time my chickens don't go out when it's raining, so it stays fairly dry, or they stay in the coop area. But let's see, I changed that chicken's dressings, I think on Friday, and it's Sunday, so I changed it 48 hours later. Last week, I think I changed it 3 or 4 days later. It's starting to heal pretty nice. The one side looks like it's forming a really nice scab. So what I'll end up probably doing the next time is not putting stuff on it. Chickens are incredibly hard to sex unless they're, I'm sure you've researched it, unless they're a sex link bird where they either have like they come out a different color if they're a male or have a spot on top of their head. But most chickens are incredibly hard to sex. If you look at how a chicken is born in the egg, males lose their testicles and everything. I think it is from when I first got on the chicken keep. I think it's day 7 a male rooster loses his testicles and penis and everything, or something like that. It loses something. And I was like, ah, okay. Unlike where ducks and geese, they have those parts. And so there is intercourse. Whereas with the other animals, chickens and roosters and a hen, they call it the colloquial kiss. uh, because then the two parts just kind of lock on and suction cup to each other. And that's how they're able to pass the um, DNA and everything from a male to a female. And that is why it is so hard to sex chickens until they hit that age of like 8 weeks when you start to see spurs and then obviously male roosters start to crow. And that's obviously a definitive time when people are like, oh, I guess I got a rooster. Whereas with ducks and geese, you can sex them immediately when they're born because waterfowl and the ducks, they have the males have genitalia. So there you go. Take that to your bar trivia. So that's probably why the number one reason new chicken keepers have difficulty with. I know I do. I still do. It's like, oh, don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Can't really tell unless you buy sex-linked chickens that come out with a distinctive genetic trait, obviously. So, um, and then obviously if you go to like a Rural King, a Tractor Supply, a Farm and Fleet store, there's Straight Run, and then there's the other name escapes me at this time, but it's the ones where they're sexed. Straight Run is where they're not sexed, and then what's the other one called? But that's why you pay the extra dollar or two for to have the chickens sexed. But again, they're according to the manufacturer and the farm, there's always like a 5 to 10% chance that they screw it up. So it's like, oh, that's great. That's great. If there's 100 birds in here, there could be 5 to 10 pullets. Thank you. I could not think of the word. It escaped me. Yep. So you have straight run and pullets. Pullets are sexed to be females. That's why you pay the extra couple bucks. So, but those people are trained. They are highly trained, and they have like a 5% error rate that they get it wrong. So, in every run of 100 at one of the farm supplies, you could have 5 to 10 roosters in there, which I still think is incredibly high, but it is what it is. Thank you to whoever spilled the feed, the chicken scratch all over the ground. I'm very thankful. So keep faking it till you make it. You'll know when they hit like 8 weeks and start crawling. You'll be like, yep. And I think we were talking about that last night. That's the only negative to hatching out your own chickens is if you're not willing to dispatch the male roosters, because you don't need 100 roosters. A lot of people in the agriculture industry, roosters cost money. They don't provide you an egg, so then they turn into chicken soup. That's not for me. It is what it is. I'll just go buy more hens. Because yeah, you're about to know in a couple weeks when they start crowing here. You're gonna find out real fast. What'd you end up getting? Did you get just like a barnyard mix, or did you get like one breed or a couple? How many did you get? So I guess there's two questions there. Hey Tracy, how you doing? 10 bar rocks, 5 Rhode Island Reds, 3 Bantams, one is the Silky. Interesting. That'll be cool. What is that? What is that? 19, 15, 16, 17, 19, 19 of them. Yeah, it's a good number. That'll get you going. And 3 turkeys. Turkeys are a pain in the ass. Granted, I got 4 toms. They're a pain in the ass. Where is Cuddles? Cuddles is usually sitting down somewhere. He's not up front, that's for sure. I don't know where he's at. So you got 21 birds or 22 birds. It'll be fun. I don't know. I'm looking for a duck that's waddling funny. If I had to guess, I bet Cuddles is the one sitting down right there. Good old Cuddles is right there. He's smart. He knows where to sit, right in front of the food and next to the water. I hope you get all females. I understood what you meant. Need to bring back T9 like the old cell phones used to be. But yeah, I hear you with that one. Yeah, we've had as many as I think I've had 6 roosters at one point. We had 6 roosters, and the reason we had 2 from when I first got into chickens like 8 to 10 years ago. We got 2 roosters, no big deal. Then my wife wasn't coming out to the coop for a while, so I let one of the hens sit on her own eggs for a while. And I was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm letting this hen hatch her own eggs." Next thing you know, we had like 20 more chicks running around, and I think two or three more of those came out as roosters. No big deal. So I'm up to four at this point. And then I think what I get, I think one of the local classrooms hatched some eggs, and then I ended up getting another two roosters out of the deal. And I was like, whatever. I think at that time I was on my way up to 100 chickens, so it didn't even matter. Hey, my favorite. I know a lot of people cry about having Rhode Island Reds and their aggression issues, and but man, I lost our alpha rooster. His name is we lost our alpha rooster. His name was Buddy. He would walk up to my wife, and she'd go down to pet him, and he'd spin in a circle like a dog. And he was a fox. He laid his life on the line for the flock. He was big. I mean, he was every bit of 10 to 12 pounds. This is one of the biggest roosters we had. And he was an alpha on every bit. And Fox came out of the tree line. Um, and yeah, he defended the flock. I don't, roosters, chickens, they're some of the bravest animals, And he was so big, the fox couldn't drag him off. And so I was able to say goodbye to him, I guess. So that's my sob story. But I love Rhode Island Reds. I did love their aggression because of the way my Rhode Island Reds protected the flock. Um, and then ultimately he sacrificed himself so the hens could survive. And I ended up getting rid of the fox. So I guess we got even. I guess I really didn't. I lost my top dog. Rhode Island Reds are great, very hardy animals, very weather tolerant. They adapt to wherever their weather situation is. Tracy's back. Back again. It is. It is. They're definitely starting to establish that pecking order for sure. That'd definitely be some of the content you could make. There's some pretty good audios out there from movies and stuff. I like what's that one audio where it's the two gentlemen arguing and he's like, "Forget you, guy, yeah," yeah," but they're saying the F word. He's like, forget you, no, forget you, forget you, forget you." There you go. There's some content you should put up. But they're saying the F word, so but everyone's different. Some people don't like to include foul language in their content. Some do. Everyone's different. But if you're not against foul language, then I'd go look up that skit. You could have the two if you can film the two chicks arguing with each other like that. Because your goal is pretty much to like get a foothold. Your goal is to get monetized as quick as possible. Have these chicks pay for themselves. So if you could yeah. Are you using like my suggestion to a lot of people is CapCut. I know we mentioned that the other night. Hey Tracy. I would definitely use CapCut. CapCut's the easiest. CapCut or edits. I don't know. Those are my two favorites. I traditionally use CapCut. It's what I'm familiar with. I can chop up videos real quick. I can do voiceovers real quick. I'm sure there's something else out there, but to me, I do this for fun. I am not a content creator, even though I've had some success with it. It is not my full-time job. It is a hobby. But yeah, CapCut's got a lot of options. CapCut allows me to do voiceovers. They've got some voices on there that I like to use sometimes. What I do, I made a video for a company with some cups I bought, and they had a minion voice on there, so I changed my voice to a minion. I thought it was funny. Whatever, it'll get me some views. Remember to get ready. Go. I got my oldest daughter trying to make all the socials. I'll try to get the kids on doing this. That's awesome. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Nothing like owning your own business and then trying to start up another business, another passive income to try and make you money. It's cool. Then it could be a family affair. None of my kids, even when they were younger, they weren't into this. So I was like, whatever, I'll just run with it. I'll do it myself. Give me something to do. Keep me busy, just like you're doing. Tell them, Cuddles. Oh, poor baby. I'm about ready to put all these guys to bed. They're idling right now. No, that's cool. I'm glad you'll do it. I'm sure your kids will catch on. They're young. They'll have a chance to, if they scour the internet, look at some of the other chicken content creators and some of the things they do. You can talk about your experiences if you're comfortable getting in front of the camera. Um, there's a lot of opportunities there to be like, hey, so I just got these new chicks. It's my first time ever. I'm just gonna get on here and blab about it for a little bit. Every That's an easy way to make content. Be like, all right, so here's what I've learned today about chickens. Day one, day two. All right, they're 8 weeks old. Wow, did they grow so fast? Just talk about your experience. You got this. You can talk about things you've learned. You can talk about things you wish you knew, or you wish you would have found it somewhere to read about it. I don't know. There's so many routes you can take. Yep. You can make social media as much work as you want to, or make it the least amount of work as possible. I'm doing it to prove to my wife, to prove my wife wrong that I can make $1. No doubt. I don't see why you can't. You know, and that's where you can take my suggestion, and I would open up every single platform, because then you're going to increase your likelihood of making that dollar. I would do them all. I would do Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you already have YouTube. 100% you can make that dollar, because you just don't know what video is going to take off where, and who wants a following, and what's going on. Yep. So yeah, I think you'll hit $1 and a lot more than $1. And then you'll hit $1 and you'll be like, wow, this was awesome. You'll be like, well, what about $100? Well, what could I get 100? Appreciate it. Yeah, and that's another thing. Um, it's that you'll dive into, is the demographic of age groups and people that find that comedy funny. It's definitely people that are in their 30s and up, that are into some of the comedy, which is fine. There are some kids that are, I say kids because I'm older than that, but there's a subpopulation of people that are 30 and under that follow me, and they do appreciate the dad jokes and the some of the skits of the animals talking and stuff. And I think, you start to get into the data and the demographics and learn a lot about that and what kind of content works and what doesn't. It's just that's why I try to not get too involved into it or get too obsessed because, social media is always changing. That's the one guarantee I've learned in the last 6 years of doing this. Then I'm also not afraid to get in front of the camera, and talk or tell a joke or walk around and tell a bad dad joke. You know, I try to mix it up. I try to do some memes, some quotes, some text overlays on photos. Those are a lot of things that you just try to do. Sometimes there's trending things that I find funny or things that will happen. Like some of the things that I thought were funny, I just did it for me, kind of I was talking about last night, how like, I want my kids to see this stuff when I'm gone or whoever. I think there's one I did during Thanksgiving. My mother-in-law made a bunch of deviled eggs, and it was like a farting soundtrack. And I was like, yo, I bet I could do this to eating deviled eggs. And I'll tell you what, that thing got me 20 million views. And I was like, whatever, that's cool. I'm glad that resonated with people. I never thought it would ever do stuff like that. So, hey, Tracy, you'll find that a lot of things that you do, you're like, oh man, I did that because I thought it was funny. And then it's, dang, I got a million views, 20 million views. That's crazy. Never would have thought it. Never would have thought it. All right. So you'll earn $1. You'll get $1 and then some. It'll probably take you a little longer on YouTube to do it. So I'll encourage you to go to TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram and try and get monetized on those pretty fast. Because YouTube, you need what, 1,000 followers, 4,000 hours of watch time, or 20, I think it was 20, 10, 20 or 10. No, it's 10. 10 million shorts views in 30 or 90 days. I don't know, something wild. Um, so yeah, it's definitely an opportunity there. Time to get you gangsters in bed. Look at it. Look at them. They're just idling like toddlers. They're just doing this. This is how you know when they're ready to go to bed. Uh-oh. Go. Start moving. Come on. Let's get to our house, please. I still got to put all this stuff away. Get you guys to bed, shower, do all that fun stuff for work tomorrow. What is it? I wish I could find ducks around here. You can always order them. A lot of places that I've been reading as I've, gotten more into this. Um, where is it? As I've gotten more into this, a lot of places only sell, where is it, ducks and stuff and chickens seasonally. So that might be something to look into, unless you probably just want to order it from one of the bigger hatcheries. I know this is pretty old school. It's kind of an old school way, but what about checking hey, I think, have you thought about checking Craigslist? I know that's like an old an old thing, but sometimes I forget about Craigslist, that Craigslist used to be the spot. That's where we would go find things. I'm doing all right. I had a busy night. They got some sick and hurt animals. Even I sometimes forget to go check Craigslist. And every once in a while, I'll go check there, and you can find a bunch of animals and stuff on there that private breeders are selling. Making noises. Oh, oh wow. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, Illinois says you need 2 ducks or 2 turkeys at minimum if you go and buy them. If you go and buy them from like a Tractor Supply or Rural King or a Farm and Fleet or some of our other smaller places, they say you have to buy a minimum 2. Used to be, I think you had to buy 4. It was 2 or 4, and then you had to buy like 6 chickens at minimum. What? Oh, my door closed. I don't know what that. Hi, guys. Yeah, everybody's got something. Plus, when you start to order directly from the breeders, the prices change real quick. What do I need? Where's my broom to corral these people? I had a broom somewhere. What'd I do with that? Ugh. I bring it in here last night? No, I did not. So then what'd I do with it? Mm-mm-mm-mm. How does a broom just disappear? Huh. Oh, there it is. Let's go, my little flock. Cha-cha. Real smooth. Cuddles, let's go. Start working your way that bay. Yeah, I don't know how, yeah, pretty much that's where I popped it. Come on, let's go. Probably have to end up putting this in there, run. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Cha-cha. Cuddles. Cuddles. Cuddles the mighty, my little cross-legged duck with a heart murmur. Really thought he was gonna be one of the first ones to pass away. He's lived a solid life. Come on, big guy. Bum, 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 bum. That's why if you ever see me, if anyone's still here that watches me sometimes, that's why you'll see me bend over and I specially feed him privately so I can make sure he gets something. Some food to eat. Let's go, guys. Yep. Like most of us, right where I left it. Everybody. Yeah, yeah. All right. BRB. Let's see if we can shepherd the flock here. We'll get you. It can't be the first thing. Where? Where? Let's- Oh, not sleeping with the ducks. Thank you. Thank you. How long do ducks live? This year wasn't so bad. Yeah, for sure. Ducks, if you take care of your ducks, they can live, and you take good care of them. There is no doubt a duck could live, some ducks like 8 to 10 years for sure. They can definitely live a while. Chickens live less. Most commercially bred chickens live 3 to 5 years. I do have some chickens that are starting to push. Very few of my chickens make it to 7 or 8 years old. Sometimes I'll just find my chickens passed away, whether it's genetic or something happens, like just it's life, it stinks. I've probably found more chickens that have passed away. They just go to sleep, and yeah, it happens. And ducks are the same thing. If you can imprint with a duck, they'll follow you around everywhere. I imprint with all of my animals enough to the point where I can like hold them, grab them, that kind of a thing. But they're not jumping in my lap at all. Like I don't do that kind of serious imprinting. I don't know. Maybe it saves me some heartache. I've got dogs. It's bad enough, you know. All right, let's go to bed, geese. You're being a pain in my tuchus. Go to pony in there. All right, then. Nothing. On the cake, man. On the cake. Long way, cowgirl. See, and now this is gonna get lucky to come. Lucky with something. All right, ducks, let's go to bed. Papa Mike has stuff to do. Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, no, my turkey's absolutely. How much water is left in here? Oh wow, they drank like all right. Oh, oh. Need y'all to go to bed. Let's go. Come on. No, the turkeys are definitely funny like that. Come on now. I don't know what we're doing here, but it's okay. Come on, let's go. Let's go to bed. You know, my turkeys at Fort Toms, they do the same thing. Wherever I'm at, they just walk around. They are very inquisitive and very curious animals for sure. Let's go to bed. Come on now. Like even when I'm so Timber, I'm so thankful I have such tolerant neighbors because my turkeys will walk up to them across their property, stuff like that. Let's go to bed. Come on. Luckily, the turkeys don't do much in terms of like destruction. I call my 4 times my yard dogs because they're just like dogs. They just been meandering around everywhere. All right, come on, let's go to bed. I've got to finish the rest of my night, and I'm not doing another 10 o'clock night before I got to go to work. Come on, Cuddles, you got this, big dog. Good night. Watch out, real smooth. Get that little family in there. Yeah, always a backup. Sometimes that door closes, and then I'll use this. Use like a deadbolt. That's kind of one of the other things I'll do. I put like a gate lock on there and I'll put a carabiner through it. I don't know. I guess I'm always afraid a raccoon or something will get in here, so I try to use multiple layers of security. I had a several raccoons break into my coop one time. They were turning my chickens into KFC. I'd walk out there and it was pretty bad. Couldn't figure out how they were getting in, and finally figured out that they ripped a hole through the wire somewhere. So then I put my trail cams out here. I've got a bunch of trail cams, and found out how they were getting in. And then from there, came out here and dispatched all of them. It was like a gallery. Oh, that's what I needed to do. I'll go get that. Oh. I'm definitely big into these solar street lights. I know that's bright, but love them. Love them. What do we got right there? Ooh, look at that moon. That's a dandy. That is a gorgeous full moon. That is a dandy. Let's see, what do I got? They drank all this water. I'm gonna fill it up real quick. Look at that. Now, here's the only problem with ducks. They're messy, they're sloppy, and their waste stinks. That was probably the only thing I really wasn't prepared for when I got ducks, was how bad their waste is and why their waste smells, because they don't digest food like chickens or geese. I guess they ferment their waste, and that's why it comes out stinking and smelling so bad. So for me, having the ducks free range cuts down on that buildup, because they walk to the pond, they do here. Then, of course, what do? I go mow my whole property, I mow my pasture. So I just chop up their waste. So that's just one thing to be cognizant of if you get ducks. I've never smelled anything like it. It was horrible, especially when they're in a pen. Oh. Mhm. Mhm. There's part of me that wishes I would have stuck to my original plan and gotten 10 geese, and I probably would have never had ducks. Hey, Nora. Hope you're having a good day, Nora. Hope you had a good night. I'm about to wrap up here. I'm ready to go in, shower, get ready for the work week. So cheers to everyone. I'm out. As always, have a great night and an even better tomorrow, because you deserve it. Adios, everyone. God bless.